Well, good day. I'm Laura Diaz with In Harmony Coaching, and I have with me my co-coach, Barbara Murphy-Shannon. And Barbara, can you introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Barbara Murphy-Shannon, and I'm a breakthrough business coach for women entrepreneurs and leaders. And so I help them with everything from conceptualizing their business to opening the doors, or nowadays it's like opening your website, specifically mostly sales and marketing.
Yeah. And on today's chat, we're going to talk about how can anybody transition from a corporate position or job into entrepreneurship, or moving from working for somebody to working for your own self, being an entrepreneur or owning your own business, however you want to label yourself.
Yeah.
And so I've been asked that several times, because one of the focus that I have in working with women, especially women entrepreneurs, is getting ready to leave the corporate world. How do I prepare myself? How do I prepare that exit strategy to go smoothly and a little bit safer, so that I can be at ease and have more confidence in moving into my own business? So I'm in the process right now of creating a checklist, and many things come up in the preparation of an exit strategy. So what I like to do with these 15 minutes is just brainstorm some ideas with you, Barbara. What you have experienced, or other clients that you've noticed have experienced, and what I've experienced, and what some of my clients have experienced as well.
Right.
As one of the things that I know is that when you want to leave a position, there's something missing in that work that is not fulfilling you. Or there comes a time that you say, this is enough, I'm not enjoying what I'm doing, and there's something else that I want to do. And you have an idea what other occupation, what other work activities you want to engage in. So the first thing that I would ask somebody is for them to ask themselves, what is it in my present position that I am doing, and what am I not doing that I would like to do? Is it something that I need further training? Or is it something that I, don't need further training? I could easily transition out of this job and create my own business, consulting business, coaching business, or some other business that, I can use some of these skills plus other training that I have.
Well, we both have our own stories too, I guess, that line up with this. For me, I was in the spa industry for over 30 years. And what was missing for me was I really wanted to be have that high touch with people and really be able to help them. My position was more sales and marketing, getting them into the program, the membership. But then after that, they went with the yoga instructor and the massage therapist and the fitness. I mean, I still see the members and I enjoyed being with them, but I really wanted to have a position or a vocation where I had a high touch helping specifically women. And like you were saying, like I had to figure out like what that was. And I didn't have any clue at the beginning. I was like, I don't know what that looks like. But what I did do, which might help the gals that are listening, is I stopped over analyzing it and really thinking about it and driving myself crazy. I just decided to let the universe unfold it for me, and that's what happened. It just, it happened, and I was on the computer. I was looking up all these different things. I had, been with a life coach before. I looked at life coaching, and the local university here, Grand Canyon University, I saw that they had a life coaching master's degree, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. And I'm like looking at it, and I must have put my phone number in. But then they asked for my transcripts, and I'm like, transcripts? I'm like, I graduated in 1987 from my undergrad. So I just thought it was silly, and I shut my computer down, and the phone rang, and it was GCU. They're like, hey, we saw that you were looking. I'm like, oh my goodness, you guys are, well, one, they're fast with their marketing. I was very impressed with that. But two, they were very good at answering all my questions. And ultimately, I went into the program. So That was just like my little story as far as how I evolved from, say, corporate America into having my own business as a life business coach.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting
too.
Yeah, I have my own story, but it's one of those things that sometimes you want to move, and sometimes you want to move, but you don't know where. And like my story, I was working for the state of California, had been there for just close to 30 years. I mean, it was a good job with benefits and everything, but the one thing that got me moving was something inside my intuition, something nudging me, saying to me or feeling that there's something else that's incomplete that you got to do. And it's something work related, but it's not in this job.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how can I, discern all that? Well, that's the feeling I had. Something that said, I need to move to another occupation. I need to move into doing something else that's not in this job. I didn't know what that was. So by coincidence or synchronicity, I happened to run into a woman who was recently certified as a life coach.
Mm-hmm.
And so she asked me what I was up to. I said, right now I'm working, I'm looking at the possibility of moving somewhere else, but I'm not clear what. She says, oh, fantastic. I was just trained as a life coach. Would you like to have a consultation with me? And let's explore that. So I did. I had a consultation with her. I explored possibilities of working with her. And then I hired her for several months where the focus was exploring, where am I going? And so we explored a couple of things. And then after some time, I liked what she was doing. I said, you know what? I want to do what you're doing because that's something that really fascinates me. I like working with people.
Mm-hmm.
I like being my own boss. I like making my own time. And I like the idea of a continual learning on how we can improve our confidence. How can we improve our own individual skills and talents? Because all of us are very individualized what we can do in terms of helping other people. I don't know what that is, but I like that idea of still being of help one-to-one or small groups. So I explored the training, and once I got into the training, I realized that was for me. That was for me. But the thing about this was me allowing somebody else to help me, because when you have an idea that you want to move or want to make a career transition, one of the things that I have shared with many people and my clients is we all need help. Sometimes we need a mentor, we need a life coach or a business coach, somebody that's going to help us, guide us with some tools, some mindset, because many times we have an idea, but we're not very clear where that path is. And we need to really establish and at the same time allow and surrender that there is an answer, and we need some assistance from the universe, from another professional to guide us and help us maneuver, navigate, where are we going, until we have more clarity where that is. And so the transition of exiting from a corporate job that you've been there for many years is allowing yourself to say, yes, I'm ready for a change, and I'm surrendering myself to maybe touch bases with another professional that will be able to guide me or mentor me on how to make that transition. Because the transition may take some time. You just don't decide, I'm leaving this job, and then the next week or next day you submit your resignation. No, you got to put certain things in place. Because we all need certain things in place, like money, where we're going to live, and other elements for our own livelihood.
Right. Yeah, I stayed at the spa for about a year and a half before I left completely. For that reason, just getting ducks in a row, figuring out everything, especially if you're going to start a business. I mean, starting a business has so many different arms to it that you have to get lined up, and everything from deciding if you're going to be an LLC, a corporation, your accounting, your name, website, marketing. I mean, there's just endless sometimes with an entrepreneur, especially if you're a solopreneur. I mean, if you're doing it yourself, I mean, it's even more difficult because you wear every hat.
Oh, yeah. And that's the thing about a solopreneur, because many times many of the women will be solopreneur. I know that I was. And one of the things that really saved me and helped me is that I just did small steps, simple steps. because at the beginning, you're not going to have the necessarily income and resources to create a website. You may not have the resources to create certain mailing lists of software, but you start somewhere, even if it's just simple email. You start somewhere, simple email and the phone. It's a start, and maybe some business cards, but there's always something small that you can start with. And as you gradually increase your business, then you can bring in other marketing tools and websites.
Right. And I think you made a good point. Like when you're in that point where you're trying to, like, you want to leave the job, but you don't know what you want to do.
Right.
And you said, you took the time to figure that out. One exercise I give to my clients is I have them make a list. The first list is everything they know they want for certain. The second list is everything they know they don't want for certain. So for example, like, I know I don't want to work in a cubicle. I know I didn't want to work for a big corporation. I knew I wanted to work for myself. So making that list, that will give you the indication of what kind of job or what kind of business you're going to start, or who you're going to work with. And the other thing is, like, who do you want to be with every day? Like,
exactly.
who do you want to be around? That's really important too. Do you want to be working from home a lot, because life coaches do that.
Yeah, and you know what, Barbara?
Or do you want to be like in a big group community? Because that's a whole different position.
I do the same thing. I have a list, and I have them create. But what I have them create is asking, the first is, what kind of work activities do you want to engage in? Give me an idea what the activities that you love doing. What kind of, what is the number of people that you like working with? Do you like big companies, or do you like small companies? Or about how many people do you like to work with? Do you like a mixture of male and female, or is only females? Do you like, having contact and networking with other people? And how often do you like to do that? Do you like working on the computer, on the phone? List a number of activities and how frequently you like to engage in this activity. And also list what activities speak to your heart, that you really feel a sense of joy and a sense of happiness when you accomplish this activity. Right. And then from that list, I have them write a list of activities, work activities that they're currently performing. And, which ones do you enjoy the most, and which ones do you enjoy the least? Right. And then look at that list, on how to, what is the next position or business that you're going to create from the list that you want? And what can you bring from the previous positions that's transferable that can be used over here? And then we start working from there, because sometimes you have no clue what your next job, but as long as you have an idea of activities, what work activities you like,
right?
That helps you, because that helped me when I was going to college. I created a list in my mind, and in my I journal, and I said, I want a job when I finish school that I don't have to deal with the public, that it's closed in, that I can wear jeans if I choose to, that I don't always have to dress up, and that I have my own office, and that I'm paid good. It's better. One afternoon, I was sitting in my office as a team manager, and I was thinking back to that, and I said, oh my God, I mentioned a lot of those things that I wanted, activities, and it was right there.
Yeah.
It had come. It's one of those synchronistic things you realize. I said, oh my God, this is what I asked for. Right. I'm here.
Right. And that's a good one. That's a good point too. Be careful what you ask for.
Yeah. So from that exercise, I always ask people, what is it that you want? It's sort of creating a vision. What is the vision of activities that you want to engage to really speak to your heart and help you?
And that's a great tool too. Your vision, they can make a vision board.
Right.
If they're a visual person, I'm a very visual person, so I do lots of vision boards. So if I have an image in my mind that I can find maybe in a newspaper or a magazine, cut it out, put it on my vision board. Like same thing when my undergrad, as far as what you were saying, I knew that I wanted to work in an environment that was healthy and wellness and, doing really good things for the body. And so, I started in the fitness industry and then it moved into the spa industry. But when I got into the spa industry, I tried to be a spa director manager, overseeing the people and operations, and I hated it. I hate it because you're just putting out fires all day. And I'm like,
Oh,
no,
yes.
this isn't me. I really like talking to people. Like, I really like engaging with people. So I think I'm more of a sales and marketing type person. I
Right.
didn't want to have a staff, that was coming to me
Right.
every 5 minutes and saying
Yeah,
things
well,
like, I got to go home. I have a headache. And I'm like, well, there's a whole book full of people coming in today. What am I supposed to do? I can't give them a massage.
that's right. Okay, so, I noticed that our time is getting short. So, thank you for contributing, how you, look at this and making a transition. But one of the things of making a transition or, creating an exit strategy is, it takes time. It could take about several months to about a year and a half, because I know mine took close to a year and a half. So we got to pace. We got to look at our mindset. We got to look at the resources. We got to look, what exactly do we want? What exactly is going to please me that I need? And then look at what resources you have now and what you need to get started, and then go from there.
Right. And like you said, get help, whether it's a mentor, a coach, because you're not thinking the full picture when you're trying to figure this out.
That's right. That's right. We all need help.
Outside opinion, outside person will be able to see things that you're not seeing. Like, people were saying to me, Barbara, you're really good at blah, blah, blah. Why don't you do that? And I'm like, oh, that seemed too easy.
Yeah.
I wanted to make it really difficult.
That's right. That's right. And always, always know that there's always somebody out there. There's always life coaches, business coaches waiting to help.
Exactly.
I want to thank you for listening, all of you. And I'm Laura Diaz with In Harmony Coaching. And Barbara is with
BMS Coaching.
Thank you.
Barbara Murphy-Shannon. Or it could be the body, mind, and spirit. BMS.
Yeah, you got a point there.